Morning, traders. And we had a fairly big down day yesterday. The trend is down at the moment. As I said, we're looking for a confirmation of the trend change, but that hasn't really materialized. We didn't get a retest of this level like I was expecting, but we did rally to the downside, and there was quite a few opportunities to get in on this short. Now, one thing I just want to highlight here is this head and shoulders. So shoulders, head, shoulder. What is that target? That target is still very much in play, and it's pretty much this gap down here. Okay, so let's just get to the lower time frames, and you'll see everything a little bit clearer. There's my head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder. We had a break. We had a retest. The retest wasn't perfect, but it was there. And then we had a gap down and a fairly big acceleration gap to the not breakaway gap, not acceleration gap, to the downside. But that you'll see on you'll see it on the lower time frame. So you can see that was our first target area, and then we had a couple of scenarios here, a few tails where we picked up price. Okay, so for now, I suspect that is our next target area, which is pretty close to where the head and shoulders is. So we're looking for 55.32. Okay, let's just get down to lower time frames. All right, so looking at the hour, you can see the trend was down. We did have this break, but as I say, my rule is quite simple. The trend has been down. It's been a strong trend pretty much over 4 days. Well, 4 and a bit days. So you trade with the trend. Even if you do get a crossover or what you think is a trend change, go with the trend until you get a confirmation of the trend change. So there was no confirmation here. This bar was interesting, but there was no second confirmation bar or pattern, double bottom or diversions or anything like that. Okay, so what we do have here is diversions of the moving averages right now. We also have a little bit of a consolidation pattern. Okay, what I would expect is a retest of this breakout. Okay, so I would expect a retest of 51321, and then I would expect another short to come and get the head and shoulders target for 5532. Okay, if we look at what's happening at the moment, the Nasdaq did finish up 0.5% yesterday, 10 cents up 1% at the moment. Rand dollar 14.18, so that would also bode well for a long. And crude oil is also up 1.2%, 1.3% actually. So yeah, so I do expect a move to the upside, but then I expect another attempt to come and get this target. There's nothing. Okay, there is inside tails there, which is what the breakout is, but there's nothing else here. That indicates a place where we could turn. Let's just add this one in here. That looks fairly interesting. I've got two there, and I've got some attempts at it there. Let's have a look where that was. We didn't even tag that level. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, so I wouldn't want to get in long here. Definitely look at this gap close at the bottom here. So 55.32, that's the head and shoulders target. That would be an area for me to potentially nibble it along to see if we're going to get a trend change. But at this stage, I think go with the trend, and the trend is down. Okay, so closing range strategy did work out, but we pretty much gapped onto the target and then accelerated away. So look at the lower time frames now to see what. There's my wedge there. So we'll look at the lower time frames now just to see what we can pick up. Okay, so essentially you had a breakout and it just rallied. So your breakout was this area here, pretty much with this bar. It would have been difficult to get in and convince yourself to stay in, but the bigger picture was down. You were looking for a short, so that should have been your bias anyway. If we look at the 5 minutes, you'll see below the 200 moving average crossover, you did have these little fractals here. So if you're using Bill Williams theory or any fractal breakout theory, in actual fact, 51679 would have been your entry, but just below that. So I would say 51670 would have been your entry, and your stop would have been above the high of the day, which would have been 51777, and that would have lined up with the opening range breakout strategy of half an hour. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's the 6 bars, so that's exactly what happened here. Okay, so pretty much just a normal fractal theory. Break below the fractal because we are below the moving averages. It's short with a stop above the previous fractal. And then you can see every time you break below the fractals, it's another entry with a stop moved above the higher fractal. So it's 1, 2, 3 entries on this run. Okay. So I think this is not an area we want to be short. We want to see a pullback, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But this area here is what interests me. 51320 is what I'm looking for a second short to come and tag 50532. Okay, we do have a grouping here of the oscillators on the hour, which is indicating we should be looking for a level. So 50769 is also another level we could pay attention to as well. Okay, so just be wary. This is very typical of a trend reversal where you have a trend, you look, you get a fake out of the trend, breaks the upside, and then you get a violent move to the downside to come and test another level. Problem is there's no level here. I'll make sure that there's nothing on the weekly. It's just congestion here. Okay, and this is still looking like a double top on the weekly to me. Obviously we need to break below the swing low, but that's what that looks like at this moment in time. And we're below the moving averages right now. Okay, so lastly, I think just get to the ichimoku. You'll see the weekly. Nothing really much happening here. If we look at the daily, you can see we pretty much came down to the daily cloud. I don't have a crossover. I don't have a twist. So there's nothing indicating that the trend is changing. And the other thing that we need to pay careful attention to is Fibonacci. So you can see 50% Fibonacci right here where price stopped, basically. So it is very possible that we bounce off here. I am actually expecting a bit of a bounce, but at least to test levels. And it could be a test on the daily level of the head and shoulders neckline up there, or a lower area pretty much there. Okay, if we look at the 4 hour, you'll see we broke below the cloud, came back, tested the cloud, and rallied to the downside. So this is still indicating we should be trading with a trend which is down. Okay, last one that we look at is the hour, because I've noticed that especially the Aussie, the cloud is pretty much indicating trend for you on the hour as well. Okay, so you can see a trend is down. We don't have it. We had to come together here. We don't have a crossover. We do have a separation or divergence between Kijisen and Tikinson, but that just means that we've got a potential reversal coming, or alternatively just a pullback. And I'm of the opinion it's a pullback. It's a pullback until we get above 51946 anyway. Okay, so I'm looking for another short entry, and this is the area I'm looking for. 51333 looks to me to be an area that I need to watch, to be looking for a short. Okay, am I interested in this short, this long scalp? Possibly. It's a 350 point long scalp, so there is an opportunity here. It really depends on what happens. We could use, it's an 87 point closing range, so I'm not even bothered with that. But yeah, there is an opportunity for a long scalp back to this area, but I'm more interested in the short, so I'll be waiting for the short. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Hope that helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.